Welcome to Books in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Resurrecting Sex by David Schnarch. This book bite discusses an intimacy-based approach to resurrecting sex in a relationship. The author's approach is different from other well-known sex researchers, who tend to target sensation and individual pleasure. Instead, this method focuses on intimacy with your partner, based on shared fantasy, and anxiety interferes with orgasm. This approach can help you navigate the complicated emotional terrain of intimacy, lean into your partner's touch, optimize your ability to give and receive stimulation, and offer your relationship a second chance at sex. Many of the author's patients emerged from treatment and went on to have the most intense sex of their lives, and you can revolutionize sex in your relationship, too. However, the journey toward resurrecting sex may shatter some of your illusions about relationships. To forge a deep sexual union and find true and meaningful peace within your relationship, you must be willing to be vulnerable and put your best foot forward. Peter and Judy had an ideal relationship, but they had a secret. Their sex life was practically non-existent. Peter tried to initiate sex one day, but Judy shook him off. Instead of retreating, Peter acknowledged that they had a problem and they discussed their options. Peter and Judy regulated their anxiety in two ways: through the comfort-safety cycle, in which partners use their relationship to regulate their anxiety, and by exploring their sexual potential and exceeding their thresholds. Sexual dysfunction is a normal feature of sexual functioning, and many people develop a sex routine that produces just enough total stimulation to bring them to orgasm. To tackle sexual problems, aim to explore your sexual potential and greatly exceed your thresholds. Peter and Judy's relationship was characterized by avoidance of conflict and tendency toward accommodation. They also relied on each other to confirm their identities and assure themselves of their self-worth. However, these dynamics were not conducive to long-term growth. Eventually, the pair hit emotional gridlock, and Peter broke their emotional gridlock by holding on to himself. This led to a two-choice dilemma, where Judy didn't like having sex their normal way but was also wary of anything unfamiliar. To resolve sexual issues, Peter and Judy had to analyze the state of their relationship and foster a growth cycle, which is a necessary part of pursuing long-term relationship stability. To find validation, Peter held on to himself when he confronted who he was and then did what he thought was right. Peter realized that the best way to confront his partner is to confront himself. Judy was taken aback by Peter's new attitude and initiated sex. Peter's display of integrity inspired more sexual excitement in her, and they began to build a new sexual relationship. Vivian had been married for 2 years when her arousal problems started, and her doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong. She underwent laser surgery to correct the pain, but the vaginismus persisted. When she started dating Armin, she finally received an accurate diagnosis: inflammation in the gland ducts of her labia. The key message of this book is that to solve arousal issues, it is important to make a plan of action and open yourself to your partner. Armin agreed to touch only the outside of Vivian's genitals at the beginning, which helped her release her anxiety and experience real sexual pleasure. To solve any arousal problem, you must first be active in identifying its causes and develop and implement a treatment plan. Get a medical checkup for peace of mind, and develop an active coping strategy with the goal of building positive anticipation for sex with Armin. Your issue may also be the quality of physical stimulation you're giving or receiving, and optimizing stimulation isn't just about rubbing harder or longer. Connecting physically requires the willingness to connect with your partner emotionally. The author asked Brenda to imagine spending 40 years disappointing the person you love most, and then asked Jack if he'd describe the experience accurately. After their revelatory session, Jack felt calmer and lasted longer. Anxiety is the most common cause of orgasm interference, and it manifests in two ways: premature or rapid orgasm, and preventing you from reaching your orgasm threshold. When Cindy and Boyd had sex, Cindy didn't enjoy herself much, and Boyd's anxiety contributed to their problem. To solve your orgasm problem, you must investigate its subtlety and customize your approach. Cindy was keeping a secret from Boyd, so she retreated to the internet for sexual satisfaction. One night, Boyd suggested they share their masturbation fantasy, but Cindy left out the part where she dance and masturbate in front of the men. When Cindy tried this, she discovered that her fantasies weren't deranged. They were about intimacy and validation. Boyd worked through his fears of Cindy's sexuality, and their sexual connection improved. Cindy even danced and masturbated for Boyd, and he watched her bring herself to orgasm. To increase your tolerance for stimulation, the solution is to break the connection in your mind between reaching your orgasm threshold and feeling inadequate. Pay attention to what brings you to orgasm, and teach your partner the best way to stimulate you. This will help you reach orgasm more quickly in the moment. The success of any medical treatments for sexual problems ultimately depends on your relationship. There are many safe and effective treatments for sexual dysfunction, but many people turn to new medical technology in order to avoid confronting the underlying emotional problems in their relationships or within themselves. To resurrect sex, a multidimensional approach is needed that takes a couple's mental framework into account. Sexual devices like water-based personal lubricants, vibrators, and dildos can help couples relax and play during sex. There are also various surgical options and medications to consider, such as Viagra, which is the most common treatment for erectile dysfunction. However, there are many misconceptions about Viagra. Viagra does not improve sexual performance, but it does produce a series of nitric oxide-related events in the genitals that facilitate erection. In clinical trials, 64 to 72% of men achieved erection with Viagra, compared to 23% who took a placebo. Anxiety, distracting thoughts, and emotions can interfere with Viagra's effectiveness, so it is important to hold on to yourself and open yourself to your partner. To build a collaborative alliance during a growth cycle, you may have to make about 6 repair attempts before your partner responds positively. Actionable advice: apologize when you lose control of yourself. Refer to meaningful moments in which you pulled through together, or ease tension with a light joke. Don't turn away from your partner when things get tough.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries, and feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in, and happy listening.